podcast. Plenty of crap. Not now. All right. Let's get it rolling. Thank you so much for joining Spazzing Out, America's podcast. And I can tell you this right now, I am tired. I'm sleepy. I want to go to bed. It was a long day, and it's not like I worked hard today. I think I drank much yesterday. I seldomly do I ever listen to the podcast after I record the podcast. I mean, sometimes I do. I used to when I first started. All right, so when I first started, I always listened because I was just trying to make the podcast better because it's tough for me to talk to myself. But now I've come accustomed to having a conversation with myself, so it's not that big of a deal, so I don't really listen to it back. But I listened to today's podcast, and the reason I listened is because fucking nobody listened to it. Now I know why, because anybody that's, or let me rephrase that. A lot of people listened to it, but not everybody made it to the end, and it was a short podcast, and now I know why, because I listened to it, and I was like, oh man, I was hammered. I was definitely loaded yesterday while doing the podcast, but that's all right. That's what it is. If I got to do it 5 nights a week, some of the nights I'm going to be drinking, some nights I'm not. I'm not drinking tonight. My wife, she thinks I have a drinking problem, but in fact, I do not. I don't drink Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I drink Fridays, and I drink Saturdays. Maybe I'll have a drink tonight because there's football. So if there's football, I might drink. So now we might have to start drinking on Thursdays. We'll take Friday off. We'll take Saturday off. I'll drink Sunday, Monday. Or does high school football count? Wow, there's no high school football. There's college football. College football doesn't count in my eyes. But I'm definitely beat. I need to, I'm tired. I'd like to get some sleep. We're going to pick up a topic that I wanted to cover yesterday, but I didn't get to it yesterday because we'd been drinking from San Francisco about voting. Talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger quickly about voting. Bro, we're not alone. The scientists have found life. We are not alone. I want to talk about that. Pepsi is creating a drink for the pussies. Pepsi's creating a pussy drink. Anti-maskers, I want to talk about that. The NFL coaches aren't wearing their masks. I have to give an update on Cobra Kai. Chris Evans, sorry, bro. I'm talking about it. So if you don't know what I'm talking about Chris Evans, we're talking about it. On this program, I talk about everything. And when I see something like that, I have to talk about it. I absolutely have to talk about it. And Cuties. I didn't watch it, so I want to get that right out. And I'm not going to watch it, but we have to talk about that briefly, about do we watch this? Do we not watch this? If you watch it, are you a freaking pedophile? Do you watch it out of curiosity? Personally, I have no interest in watching Cuties. I'll explain to you what Cuties is. And I'm not talking about the cutie marks on My Little Pony from the cartoon that my daughter watches. So why don't we'll get the Cobra Kai stuff out of the way. I finally made it to the end of it. So I watched the first 2 episodes, the first 2 seasons, and I got to the finale last night. And first off, Cobra Kai is awesome. Why do I like it? It reminds me of 1, Karate Kid that we all grew up on, 2, of myself. Every single one of us is like a Johnny Lawrence. Every single one of us is thinking about the good times in high school and the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. The glory days as they were. So it does a really good job of that, but it also does a really good job about bringing up topics with parents and not having parents and stuff like that. Cobra Kai, Never Die, No Mercy. The way it ended, I need season 3 immediately. I need season 3 right now. If you text me one more time while I'm doing my podcast, I'm going to lose my mind. Sorry, everybody. I'm doing my podcast. Everybody knows that I'm doing my podcast. Don't fucking text me. It distracts me to hell. It distracts me to all ends. I'm busy. I want to talk about Cobra Kai, and I can't talk about Cobra Kai because I'm getting text messages. Don't fucking text me during the show. All right. So Cobra Kai ends. And I want more. And I'm not going to give it up to you. What happened My mind was blown. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. We need season 3. Good news. Season 3 is already done. It's in the can, as they would say it. Season 3 has already been recorded, or it's already been filmed. It got done filming at the end of 2019. They're still working on editing it. They have to reshoot a couple of scenes. It should be ready it honestly could be ready at any time. It's just up to Netflix to drop it. Must watch TV. Cobra Kai is must watch, especially if you're my age. I can't stop thinking about it. The show is phenomenal, and I feel like we're all Johnny Lawrence. I feel like we're a bunch of Johnny Lawrences, and when you watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I want Johnny Lawrence to beat the hell. I want him to kick Daniel-san's ass so bad. I want him to rip Daniel-san's butt apart. So since we're talking about Netflix, I was talking about this today with a client of mine at work, and he brought up if I was going to talk or if I was going to watch this to talk about it on the podcast. The show's called Cuties. It's a French documentary, or it's about these 11-year-old girls that dress up in basically nothing. I haven't watched it yet. I'm not planning on watching 11-year-old girls dance and shake their asses. That doesn't seem appealing to me. If you're watching it, my neighbor down the street might watch it. That guy's like a level 3 sex offender. Maybe he'd be into watching Cuties. But from what I understand is it's a disgusting show, and it's borderline pornography of 11-year-olds. But Netflix says you should watch it because what it does is it shows us all that there is a problem with sexualizing young girls. And a lot of people are in an uproar about it. There is a congressman out of Texas and the attorney general out of Texas. They want to sue Netflix to get it off of Netflix because they say that it's basically sexualizing 11-year-old girls. I haven't watched it. I don't know if I should watch it. Here's one of those things. And I'd have this problem when I used to work on the radio. I did radio for 16 years. I worked at the station WAF 107.3 till I was about 35 years old. And many times there had been very controversial things that would happen. Maybe it was someone getting shot, right? Like I could watch someone get a bullet in the head. I don't think I can watch 11-year-old girls shake their ass. I think I would be enraged. I have a daughter that's 5 years old, and I seen a poster for it. If my 5-year-old daughter is wearing clothes like that, or my 11-year-old daughter is wearing clothes like that and shaking her ass, I'm gonna pound somebody. I literally and don't I'm gonna pound. That's probably saying pound somebody. Poor choice of words when talking about 11-year-old girls. I'm gonna kick someone's ass if that happens. You know, like my daughter. Hopefully, I know my wife would like to get Presley into cheerleading and into dance and hopefully East Elite someday. But if that's the kind of clothes they're going to be wearing and they're going to be doing them types of sexual moves at 11 years old while there's some pervert ass dude out in the stands, I'm not going to be able to handle that. I can't even handle that. When the guy said it to me, I was like, wait, did you watch this, dude? Literally, I asked him, I was like, hey, did you watch it? He's like, no, real quick. He's like, oh. He read the article, so he claims. But he asked me if I was going to watch it so that I could talk about it on the podcast. I'm not going to watch it. I read an article about it because I needed to figure out what it was. I saw the photo that the article had, and it's like 10, 11-year-old girls. And even the photo itself is like, oh, man, they're taking these little girls out there. They're making them wear really tight shirts and really tight. You look it up, dude. I'm not going to get into describing it, but I'm not going to watch it. And normally I might have, right? I might have watched something for that because I have to talk about it. It's my job, at least I like to think so, on America's podcast, to talk to you guys about things that are in the news or things that might be important or things that I feel like I need to inform you about. And this show is something that popped up, and I'm like, I need to talk about this because it's unacceptable to exploit 11-year-old girls. And then I'm like, wait, is it even worse that Netflix picked this up and played it, or is Netflix doing the right thing by bringing awareness to what's happening? So, for example, let's say Netflix did a show on child labor, and the whole documentary was about a factory in, you know, some foreign country where kids were working, making 3 cents an hour to make Nikes, we'd all watch it. And we'd all watch it and say, oh, great, you've brought awareness to child labor. Netflix is saying they're doing the same thing. They say, look, we're bringing you this content to bring awareness to the fact that there are sick fucks out there that are sexually exploiting 11-year-olds. And this is why we put this content out there, because we want you to be educated. We want you to know. It's a documentary. We want you to know about it. I mean, it's like Amazon titties. Remember when we were younger and you had National Geographic tits? Well, National Geographic didn't take the tits out. We still saw the fucking titties when we were like 11 years old, and we were all like, oh my God, we got everybody subscribed to National Geographics because we want National Geographic titties. We all, and every single one of us, every dude right now knows what I'm talking about. Long, big ass Amazon black titties from fucking National Geographics. It's probably the first tits any of you guys ever saw. But it was educational. So Netflix is saying that this is something that you need to see so that you understand that there is an organization out there, or there are people out there. They're bringing awareness to the fact that girls 11 years old, that they're being exploited sexually. But I don't think I need to. I don't think I need to watch it. I'm not going to watch the show. I don't think anybody needs to watch the show. But I think seeing the news story enough handles it. I think telling us that there's a problem out there is good enough. I don't know that Netflix needs to air it. Not to mention, literally, that you know there are a ton of sick ass dudes out there that are watching it. And maybe, hey, maybe Netflix has got a master plan. Maybe that guy Chris Henson, or whatever the hell his name was, is gonna pop out of the closet and say, "Why don't you have a seat right over here, buddy? Why don't you have a seat right over here?" So you look it up. You do the research. I'm not going to watch the show. I don't mean to get you guys all upset about it. I'm not going to watch it. I unfortunately, that's not unfortunate, dude. I'm not. Man, hold on. My podcast got messed up. Hold on. The limit. It's so frustrating that the podcast, the recording equipment that I have is just so garbage. Hold on. What a 9/40 segment. I got to start the thing over. All right. If you had just lost a part of the podcast, we're back. As you guys know, I have crappy equipment and it cuts out all the time, and I don't go back and edit it. It is what it is. You get what you get. We're talking about Amazon titties or fucking National Geographic tits and the show Cuties, and whether or not I should watch it so that I can talk about it on the podcast so I can educate you guys about it. I'm not going to watch it. I'm done on that. I'm not watching it. I know people have asked me about it. Like I said, a client of mine asked me if I was going to watch it. I might have watched it back in the day for WAAF. Maybe because I would have got asked to by my boss, and Greg, not being the boss, I'm talking about higher up, might say, hey, you might need to watch something like this so you can talk about it. But honestly, I don't even know if that was the case. I don't think I'd ever be forced to. But sometimes you watch these things so that you can say, yeah, this is disgusting. And I have no interest in watching it because I think it's disgusting. You Google Cuties, you look at the photo. Netflix should probably consider taking it down. They really should. I'm not trying to censor Netflix and the type of content that they put out there, because I'm not going to go away from Netflix, dude. Cobra Kai is too damn good for me not to watch Netflix. Sorry, I love it. I mean, shit, I feel bad for the girls in France, but when Cobra Kai comes around, I'm going to be watching it. So no, I won't be watching Cuties. If you're going to watch, you know what? You watch Cuties, and then you can DM me, and then I'll DM you back and say you are now fucking blocked from my program because I don't need any sick, disgusting perverts that are jerking off to 11-year-olds. I'm all set. You can send me your address. I'll send the authorities over there. Stay away from Cuties, but watch Cobra Kai. Since we're on the topic of pornography, I guess I have to talk about this on this show, on this podcast. I will talk about here. Wait, this is great. This is a perfect example. This is a perfect example of looking at content so that I can talk about it for you guys. yesterday or the day. I don't know what. Actually, I don't know what day it happened. Maybe it was Saturday. Saturday, some news broke about a leaked nude photo. And I had to see the leaked nude because I felt like it was my important job to look at this nude photo so that I could bring this content to you, so that I can tell you that I saw the nude photo, describe the situation and everything that goes around with it. So, and I even explained that to my friend. I was like, hey, I had to look at this leaked nude photo. I have to do it for my podcast. It's America's podcast, and men want to hear about this. Women want to hear about this. Everybody wants to hear about it. So yes, I looked at Chris Evans' dick. I saw his photo. He leaked by accident a bunch of pictures on his Instagram, and one of the photos was a photo of Captain America's big ass penis. Bro, it's huge. The shield isn't big enough to cover Captain America's cock. Plain and simple. The guy should have nothing to be ashamed of. Honestly, if I were Chris Evans, I would have accidentally tweeted that photo 10 years ago. The women of Twitter were in an uproar because they saw Captain's huge piece. It literally, honestly, if I were hung like Captain America, like Chris Evans, forget it. Bro, I'd have taken that photo years ago. And when I first got hired to be Captain America, I would have been like, yeah, you think my arms are all jacked up? You think my look at this piece. Honestly, I have to report it to you guys. I have to report those kind of things to you guys. When an actor happens to put his pack in and he puts it out there, it needs to be talked about. Now, there was another photo that I thought was interesting in his camera roll that said, God, that pussy. It's pretty funny. It's a photo of him, just like a picture of him smiling, and it says, God, that pussy. And who knew that he was talking about that he was going to use his massive sword to guard some pussy? He's protecting Captain America is protecting the world's pussy with this huge penis. Kudos to Chris Evans. I'm happy that you're a multimillionaire. I'm even more happy for you, bro, that you got a massive dick. But it has to be talked about. So on America's podcast, we cover things that I like. We cover things that I don't like. Let me make it clear. I don't like penises. I don't care. I don't listen. You want to whip your cock out, bro? Go ahead, whip your cock out, but it doesn't do anything for me. As you all know, when I was in high school, I was sexually assaulted by a massive, huge, disgustingly oversized black penis where another man hit me in the back of the head with his fucking cock. And years later, I saw him at a gas station and I forgave him for it. I said, hey, man, no hard feelings. It is what it is. Sometimes you take a dick off the back of the head. Nothing you can do about that. But we cover these things on this show. It has to be done. So we have to talk about Cuties and the 11-year-old sexual scandal. But then we also have to cover Chris Evans, and especially when it's something to do with America, because this is America's podcast. And when America's penis is shown, we have to talk about it. Go check it. I know you're all Googling it right now. So why don't you guys all take a look at how big this dude's cock is? I guarantee you, your man at home doesn't have a piece like that. 100%. I'm telling you, this dude does not have a piece like that. Your boy doesn't. Plain and simple. All right. Now that we get through that, why don't we get to some? I know, right? We get to some serious topics. Since we're since we're talking about actors, we'll segue from one actor to the next actor. Arnold Schwarzenegger is in the news because he was tweeting something about polling locations and polling places that have closed down. Apparently, in Southern America, in the southern half of America, the 1,200 polling places since 2013 have closed. That's a lot of places. The reason that they say they're closed is because of budget. They don't have the money for it. Arnold Schwarzenegger asks the question, were these closed? And I won't accept this shit. So I'm not going to let Arnold off the hook on this. Were they closed to make sure minorities didn't have a place to vote, or were they closed, which was the reason given for the closure was budgetary? I'm going to say it was budgetary. I can't buy in to the BS, whether it's from Arnold, and I like Arnold Schwarzenegger, whether it's from Arnold or from anybody else, that polling locations were closed to discriminate. So I won't buy into that. I'm going to buy into the fact that they were closed because of money. And here's why I'm bringing the story up. And this is what I like. And this is what Americans need to do. And this is what's great about Arnold Schwarzenegger. He is being a bitch in this instance where he's saying, oh, this was done to discriminate. But he offered a solution that a lot of people don't offer. Typically, when people are bitching about social injustice, they bitch. They moan, they complain, they loot, they riot, but they don't offer a real solution. Arnold Schwarzenegger did. He said, hey, if the reason that these 1,200 polling places are closed is because of money, he'll pay for them. Arnold Schwarzenegger has said he will take his own loot, his own money, and he will open up all 1,200 locations for the upcoming presidential election. I like that, and I salute him for that. Now, here's the thing. I hope someone calls him out on that because I want to see if he'll actually do it. Because he's saying, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and instead of bitching about a problem, he's going to do something about a problem, and I like that. I don't have to agree with the guy's politics or about his reason why they're closed. I don't have to agree with you. I don't have to agree with anybody. What I like is when you bitch about something and you do something about it other than bitching. You actually take action. You put money out there. So when you put your own money out there, I have respect for that. So I have respect for Arnold in the effect, even though he doesn't support President Trump, which is a known fact that he does not like Trump, no big deal. But I support Arnold for the ability to say, I will use my own money to rectify this problem. Not a lot of people will do that. Not a lot of Americans will do that. Most of us will bitch, will moan, we'll pull a LeBron James. We'll say, oh, we're going to cancel the league. We're going to cancel the games tonight because we're all upset that a guy who was wielding a knife got shot. But fuck the 2 deputies that got shot in cold blood sitting in their car. And then Michael Jordan goes in and says, yeah, guys, we're going to play, but you guys got to get back out there. Michael Jordan talks to the players and says, yeah, guys, we're going to play. You want to lose money? Nope. We're not going to lose money. No. So kudos, as LB, my bud LB would say, kudos to Arnold Schwarzenegger for actually saying he would pay for it. That is what brings real change. Even Michael Jordan, instead of bitching about social injustice or whatever the problem might be, he put his money where his mouth is. He's donating up to $10 million over the next 10 years, $1 million a year to educate people or to educate the minority community to get them to better themselves. Instead of bitching and moaning and protesting and breaking windows, they're taking it. Listen, it hurts you. I learned this. Let me tell you something. I learned this. This isn't a Stan story. This is an Oscar story. I learned this lesson very young. I used to caddy at Winchester Country Club, and the caddy master was this dude Oscar, right? Black dude Oscar, mad old. Guy was probably like 70. And I learned a lesson real early, and we all know it, that when you want to hurt someone, you got to get them in the wallet, right? This is what he would say. I would do something, or he'd be pissed either I was late or I did something out on the loop, something stupid, who knows what the hell it was, and he'd come in and he had a little study. He's like, points. I'm gonna get you where it counts. He pointed to the same thing. I'm gonna get you in the wallet, and he would. And he'd pinch my shit, and he would take money, or he'd put me out on a shitty loop. And I learned my lesson that I don't fuck around at Winchester Country Club, because when you do, you're gonna get hit in the wallet. When people get hit in the wallet, they tend to either straighten up or they tend not to care about their cause. Arnold Schwarzenegger, on the other hand, is saying, I care about my cause, and I will put up my own hard-earned money to open these polling places. If that is a fact, I'd like to see him do it. Get the money out there. Let's do it. Just do it. Get it done. Do we have anything else on voting before I move on to something else? No, nothing else on voting. All right. We are not alone. Today or yesterday or the past few days, scientists have found signs of life in the clouds in Venus. They find microbes in the clouds of Venus. I don't know how they found them. Maybe they saw them through a microscope, so I have no clue. All I could tell you is they believe that there is life on other planets other than Earth, and it's astounding. I'm astounded by this news, and I'm astounded if you're a retard and you didn't think there was life anywhere else. 100% you're a mutant. Of course, there is living beings somewhere else. You'd be an arrogant assbag if you think you're the only type of organisms that are. My daughter's down here. Speaking of organisms, hi, honey. Hi, Daddy's trying to do his podcast, sweetie. I'm talking about aliens and life forms on other planets, honey. Do you think there are aliens and there are other life forms on other planets?
No.
All right, can you go back upstairs or go over here so I can do my podcast? Oh, what's the matter? This is something that other podcast guys don't have to deal with. Their kids don't pop in while they're doing it. But I would say this. Let's just get back to facts. This is part of one of those segments where how stupid are we? Of course, there are. I don't want to say aliens, but of course there is living life forms somewhere else. I don't know if they're in our universe, the Milky Way. I don't know if they're on the other side of the goddamn moon. I have no clue. But of course there is. There is definitely life somewhere else. If you don't think so, you're an idiot. To think that you're just we're the only ones. It's us, the monkeys and the sharks, and that's it. No, there are sharks on other planets. There are monkeys on other planets. There's COVID-19 on another planet. Dude, there's aliens. I don't care. I don't know what they look like. They probably look like me and you. Of course, Kaylee's calling me right now while I'm doing my podcast. Hold on, everybody. Everyone knows that I'm doing my podcast. Hold on. God, it's so annoying. And it fucked up my live feed. So whatever, that live feed's gone. No big deal. No one else has to deal with this crap. I'm telling you, I'm trying to build a damn mountain. I'm trying to build a program. I'm trying to create America's podcast, and I'm trying to build one brick at a goddamn time. And everyone knows that I'm doing the podcast at night. I'm live. How are you not watching? Well, how do you not know? How do you not know there are aliens on other planets? And how the fuck do you not know I'm doing my podcast? It's like two common sense things. It's night, Anthony's doing his podcast. It's night, there are beings living on another planet somewhere. We didn't need fucking NASA or scientists to tell us that there was life forms somewhere else. So thank you so much for giving us that scientific help that you found microbes on Venus. We knew. We already knew. We know that there is life somewhere else. My daughter, I'm telling you, man, this podcast. How am I ever going to get this thing off the ground? How am I ever going to monetize this thing? Bro, when this thing gets big, I'm going to be sitting here like Joe Rogan, and I'm going to have Donald Trump and Joe Biden doing a debate, and my daughter's going to pop in. I'm going to have Joe Biden and Donald Trump debating, and my fucking phone's going to ring. I'm going to be here. Everybody in America is going to be watching. Mr. President, how do you, tell us about your response on COVID-19. Well, Mr. Biden, you have 30 seconds to rebut. Oh, wait a second, guys. My wife's calling. So my daughter just came downstairs. Everybody chill out. Stop. Let's, woo! My God. Anyways, my daughter, look at this. Honey, come on. Daddy's trying to do his podcast. You can't do that. Come on. Come on. Don't act like a chooch. All right. Honey, we'll go upstairs.
Well, I don't want to go upstairs because
all right, then let me finish. I got like 10 minutes left, honey. I love you. All right, well, then you can stand here, but don't make faces into the camera. Okay? All right, so that's it. There's life forms. The scientists have found signs of life on Venus, but we're not idiots. We already knew it. We knew. Ah, man. What else should we get? I really want to talk about San Francisco. Let's just do San Francisco. So it is my opinion that the young generation, that these kids here, my beautiful daughter, are not going to be ready when they're 18 years old. It's my opinion that people or females, men, women, whatever, they're not adults until they're about 25 now. 18 is no longer the age of maturity. It sure as hell isn't. I know too many 18-year-olds, and these kids are definite mutes. They're squids and they're mutants, and there's no effing way they should be in charge of anything. As a matter of fact, I even take it to the military level. I think 18-year-olds can join the military. I don't think they should be able to see any type of combat until they're like 25 years old. They're just not mentally ready. Or maybe they passed the test. I don't know. They're just not there. Now, San Francisco is about... Yes, honey?
I want to get a toy from down here.
All right, then go ahead. Do whatever you got to do.
So do I have to do it over here?
Yeah, I guess. In San Francisco, they're passing... I can't even do the goddamn show, man. This is so fucking aggravating. In San Francisco, they're trying to pass a bill where they're going to allow 16-year-olds to vote. They're going to allow 16-year-olds to vote in local elections. I think this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I don't even think 18-year-olds should be allowed to vote anymore. I think they should raise the age to voting to 21.
Dad.
Yes?
I'm going to have to take that thing down.
No, Press. I need, like, please, Presley, please. So I don't even think that 18-year-olds are old enough to vote. I don't even know how anybody could take me serious right now with my daughter. Listen, 16-year-olds should not be able to vote. That's plain and simple. There is no way a 16-year-old can make an educated decision enough to vote for someone, even on the local level. It is 100% my thought that local politicians affect your life more than federal politicians. Your city council can make ordinance. Your city council can make your life a living hell. And I don't need some 16-year-old squirt making a fucking decision that's going to affect me, the working class man that pays taxes and owns the house. I'm not going to have some kid that's, jerking off into a sock. My daughter's right here. Come on, Press.
I'm sorry, Dad.
Honey, I love you. I'm almost done with my podcast. What do you, honey, if you want to take it down, but I think it's too heavy. Guys, hold on. Everybody hold on. Everybody hold on.
Sorry, Dad.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault.
I'm trying to ruin your podcast.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I know I ruined it.
All right, I'm back. Man. I can imagine this is what, like, every Zoom meeting must... I don't have Zoom meetings because you can't Zoom meeting junk removal. You actually have to put it on the truck. But I imagine this is what every single Zoom meeting on the planet is like. When you're trying to do work and your boss is on and your kid is, like, pulling at your fucking shorts. It's so aggravating. Especially when you're trying to build a product. I'm trying to build a brand. I'm trying to build America's podcast. Spazzing out America's podcast. I want it to be huge. I want Joe Rogan money someday. And here I am. Maybe I'll be laughing about it someday. Maybe I'll sit back and be like, oh, Presley, remember the time you did this? But at any rate, 16-year-olds should not be able to vote. San Francisco is pushing. It almost passed last year. It literally was like a 54% of the vote said no, 40, obviously 46% said yes. So it was close to passing. I just, please listen to me, people. Please understand that unfortunately, our 16-year-olds and our 18-year-olds, what are they going to do? You're going to let them vote on Xbox? Is that what you guys are going to do? You're gonna let them do a microtransaction? Fuck mail-in voting. They're going to be like, oh, we're going to do Xbox voting. You're going to be able to vote, right, in the middle of Fortnite. You can cast your ballot now in the middle of Fortnite as to who you would like to be my city councilman. Me. I don't want you idiots, you young kids, you kids that can't even sit in front of a computer to get to a school day, to decide my life. Absolutely not. No. Age should be 21 by now. You should at least be 21 years old. You can't be an 18-year-old to vote anymore. You don't care. You're not educated. You're just going to vote for who your dad tells you to vote for anyways. Get a little education. Wait till they're 21. 25 should be the new age. I'm telling you, 25 should be the new age of consent. These kids are not ready. 16 years old in San Francisco. They're about to let 16-year-olds vote. It will, you know why? Well, I mean, it's California, so it doesn't matter. Democrats are winning out there. It's one of the most progressive states on the planet. But if it works there, it's going to creep its stupid way across the country. We barely let 16-year-olds work. They can't even flip a burger at McDonald's. They can't even figure out how to put onions on a burger at McDonald's when you don't even have to. You just go onions, ketchup, fucking mustard, pickle, cheese, sandwich. Done. It's not even a burger. Done. They can't even follow simple instructions. You can't even get your 16-year-old kid to brush his teeth. You can't get him to make his bed, clean his dishes. You kidding me? You can't even get a 16-year-old to walk the dog. And you want them to vote? What the hell is wrong with you people? Honestly, what in the F is wrong with you people? 16-year-olds. Whew. All right, we move on from that. Pepsi, speaking of 16-year-olds and mellowed out, I call them retards. I don't care. Retards, mutants, whatever you want to call them. Pepsi Cola is coming out with a new drink. It's called Drift Well. It's called Drift Well. What Drift Well is going to be, it's a drink that will relax you. It will make you sleepy. Typically, you drink Pepsi and Mountain Dew, which is the same company, and they get you amped up. They have caffeine. Well, now the pussies that live in this country, the babies, they don't want caffeine. They don't want to get amped up. Well, they probably are amped up on fucking Adderall, so I guess they don't need it. It's probably why they need to chill down. So now they're going to make a drink to put these babies to sleep. When you guys, oh, mommy, I can't sleep. Here's some drink. Well, oh, mommy, give me some of this. Here's some drink. Well, I can't. Garbage time. So Pepsi's moving away from doing some caffeine. Water is now the most sold beverage over soda. But nobody really drinks soda anymore, dude. I mean, I don't, but I drink soda when I'm drinking. So, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, the days that I have alcoholic beverages, I'm having a soda. Unless I don't have any soda and it's Capri Sun. But I typically don't have the caffeine in it. My fucking program's powered by 5 Hour Energy, bro. I'm a 5 hour guy. Bang one of those out in the morning, I'm good to go. I don't like coffee. But look, you'll be seeing that in stores soon. It's called Drift Well. It's a drink to help you relax. It's not going to have CBD in it. It's got some tryptophan thing in it. Or no, it's not even tryptophan, bro. That's like turkey, I think, right? Is that turkey? You go to sleep Thanksgiving, you eat turkey and you fall asleep. Well, Pepsi's going to now make a drink that's going to make you sleepy. For the pussies that don't like caffeine because they don't want to work their asses off. All right. I want to see what else did we get to that I really like to. Here's a great story that, and I don't listen. Here, I'm going to start with this. I don't want to get into the conversation or care about the argument between whether you want to wear a mask or you don't wear a mask. I don't care if you're an anti-masker or if you're a mask person. I don't care. At this point, it's preference. You do what you want. I don't care. In Indonesia, though, they do care. If you don't wear a mask and you get busted, they're making these people, the anti-mask people, dig graves for someone who has died of COVID-19. So you're in Indonesia, someone in your family died of COVID-19. The grave digger is someone that got busted or someone that got cited for not wearing a mask. Listen, I don't care for the conversation about the masks. So this isn't where I'm going. I love the fact that Indonesia makes the crime fit the punishment. Meaning, for example, in Indonesia, if you shoot someone, you get shot. If you randomly walk up and ambush two police officers sitting in a car and you shoot them, when we catch you, we shoot you. If you rape an 11-year-old, you get raped by a big ass, huge man. You get raped by Captain America's huge penis. You get raped. I love when I hear that the penalty or that the punishment fits the crime. I love it. Now, listen, do I think these dudes are spreading COVID? No, I don't know. Do I really think they should be digging graves for it? I don't really think it's that big of an issue if you don't wear a mask. That's my preference. I don't care what people do. I just love when the crime is when people are penalized for what they did. So it's like, if you chop someone's hand off, we chop your fucking hand off. They go, oh, we don't put you in jail for 2 years and then let you come out and have two hands. Nope, this guy doesn't have a hand anymore. You get your hand chopped off. It's like that terrorist that did the Boston bombings, that scumbag that's still in prison, that's not going to be on death row now. He's not going to die. He's going to live out his days in prison. That's garbage. I think he should have his legs blown off to start. To start. Hear me out. This dude should have his legs blown off, bleed out, but not die. Bleed out, have him bleed out, just the same way the police officer that he shot bled out. Have him bleed out, but save him. Bleed him just enough to almost die. Save him, heal his legs, and then blow his arm off.
Dad,
Now he's got. Yes, honey.
I just wanted to say
One sec,
I'm
everybody.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, honey, it's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I love you very much.
I'm
What?
sorry, okay?
Oh, give me a big hug. Come here. All right. I love you so much, sweetie, but can I just finish this up and then I'll help you out? So have his arm, right? That eye for an eye type stuff. Have his arm blown off. Now he's got no legs. He's got no arm. Have him deal with that for a little bit, mentally, physically in the hole for a little bit, and then kill him like the way that the 8-year-old kid was killed, and then blow him up. Strap a pressure cooker to him, full with nails and bolts and all sorts of shrapnel, and then explode it on him. That's what we should do. And if we did, we'd have less crime. We'd have less problems. People wouldn't do shit. They would think twice about it. I want you to think about this. If you were a pedophile, you'd think twice about diddling a kid if something bad was going to happen to you. And something bad here doesn't happen. What happens is you go to jail for a year or two, you get put on the sex offender list, and you get out. That's not a big deal to me. Nope, that's not a deterrent. It would be a deterrent if they were like, wow, so you molest little kids, and then you literally you got raped by a log splitter. Sorry guys, I can't talk about it because my daughter's here. So, honey, why don't you say hi to everybody? Guys, it's my daughter Presley Ray Pazziali. Who's my number one?
Mario?
No, Joe. You're my number one. You're my number one. I'll put it like this, guys, right? You just think eye for an eye. I love that these people have to dig the graves. That's my beautiful daughter right there. And there's no real deterrent out there to keep a guy from taking her. There's no real deterrent to keep someone from hurting her because something bad's not really going to happen. They're only going to go to jail for a couple of years. Yes, honey.
Is it okay if I have this?
Give me 1 sec. I'm almost done. So there's no real deterrent here at all. And I can tell you this, guys. If someone,
Can I really have this, Dad?
honey, you have to have patience, please.
Okay.
I'm almost
I'm
done.
just gonna have it done.
All right, no, because mommy's not going to let you have it. Just chill out. So there is no real. I got to wrap this up. So there's no real. What I'm trying to get at is, I like it when countries have a real deterrent for people. In Indonesia, they say, okay, you don't want to wear a mask. Well, then you're going to dig the graves for the people who die of COVID. Now, again, it's not about the mask conversation. It's about creating a real deterrent. It's like my beautiful daughter over here. If someone kidnapped her, there's no real deterrent. They're going to go to jail for a little bit. No big deal. Now, the deterrent on my end is if you snatch my daughter, I'll go Liam Neeson on you. I'll say I got particular skills and whatever the word is. I'm going to come find you. I'm going to kill you. Fine. Now, I might not be able to do it, but when court comes and you're in court, I'm going to jail. I'm cool with that. I'll say it right now. My kid, you guys should keep me out of the courtroom if someone kidnaps my daughter or someone does something bad to my daughter, because I'm going to give you a deterrent. I'm going to kill you. There, use this in court. And I can't even. I won't be able to. Your Honor, I killed this person because they raped or they kidnapped my daughter. I killed them, and I do it again. That's a deterrent. That would keep people from doing something. Now, please understand that the smaller crimes, sure, dude, you get high and you get busted. I think that's stupid. You know what? You want to do drugs, man? I think everybody should be able to do drugs. I don't care. You know how I feel. I have no sympathy for people who OD, so I don't give a crap. You want to bang out drugs? Go ahead, bang out drugs. All right, listen, I got to end this because my daughter needs my attention, clearly. Thank you so much for listening to America's podcast. I really appreciate it. It continues to grow and it grows because of you guys. Please subscribe to the podcast. Go to anthonypazziali.com or go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. If you go to anthonypazziali.com, I have all the links there. If you're watching me on Facebook, follow me on my Facebook page. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to my page. If you were on Twitter, which you're gone now because Kaylee called, you should follow me on Twitter. Thank you guys so much. This is America's podcast. I guess I should go be a dad now, huh? Peace out. All right, honey.